when it comes to cryptids, every area in the United States has their tippy-top dog, the one that everyone associates with that area of the country. In the Northwest, you have your Bigfoots and Sasquatches. In the Northeast, New England, you have the Jersey Devil. In the southern United States, you have the skunk ape or the chupacabra, depending on your taste. And for many years in the mid-Atlantic, we have all had to live in the shadow of the Mothman, the great fuzzy bastard, the great winged humanoid creature that terrorized the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, from 1966 to 1967. And due to this dominance of the Mothman in this region, I feel like there's many cryptids from my great home state of Maryland that haven't got the recognition they deserve. So in this series, Cryptids of Maryland, I'm going to cover some of the creatures that I believe deserve more credit and more recognition on the national scale. And first we're going to start with perhaps one of the most famous creatures from Maryland, which would be the Snallygaster. Now, a Snallygaster is reported to be a great half-bird, half-reptile-dragon hybrid. It's said to have wings with feathers, sharp, almost metallic-like claws, and a great sharp hooked beak. And many reports have stated that the creature only has one eye, and some even state that it has tentacles, as well as both feathers and scales. Now, the Snallygaster actually originated in the folklore of German immigrants to this area, to the area of western Maryland in the early 1700s. The name Snallygaster actually comes from the phrase Schnellergeist, which means quick ghost, and it's assumed that many of these reports or tales were basically used as boogeymen stories to stop children from wandering away from their homes or staying out and in the woods too late at night. Because it was reported that the Snallygaster would stalk its victims silently from the sky and then swoop down and snatch up, whether it be a cow, a chicken, or an unsuspecting little boy or girl of these German families. And after that, throughout the 17 and 1800s, the stories of the Snallygaster continued to be passed on through first-hand accounts and basically folklore tales in these small German communities. And it wasn't until the early 1900s that it was actually, sightings began to be reported on in local newspapers. Most notably, there was a sighting in 1909 in Fredrick County, Maryland, where 3 men claimed to have battled a Snallygaster for nearly an hour and a half, and I assume that they used some combination of a shotgun and large tree branches used as clubs to fight off the creature until it eventually fled east into the woods of Carroll County. And as far as Fredrick County, Maryland, which is essentially the home base of the Snallygaster, is concerned, this was the last highly reported on sighting until 23 years later in 1932, when another Snallygaster, which was assumed to be the son or daughter of the Snallygaster from the 1909 sightings, was seen multiple times in Fredrick County before eventually flying west into Washington County, near the Hagerstown area, if you're local. And it was then this second-generation Snallygaster unfortunately met its demise when it inhaled too many fumes from a moonshine still out in the woods and dropped dead into a vat of freshly made moonshine. And according to the presumably moonshiners telling the story, not long after the beast fell and died of fume and or drunkenness, the revenue men that were hunting down these illegal moonshiners came and not only destroyed the moonshiners still, but also destroyed the carcass of the creature. So unfortunately after that, there hasn't been any highly reported on sightings of the Snallygaster, and I choose to believe that that is not because this was all a hoax made up to sell more newspapers in the 20s and 30s, but because with the increasing urbanization, many people decided to move in Western Maryland, where I'm from and currently reside, moved out of the mountains and hollers into ever-growing towns and small cities, and those who remained in the backwoods learned to live in peace with the Snallygaster and its kind. And so overall, I think the Snallygaster would probably whoop the Mothman's ass in a 1-to-1 fight, despite the fact that it was once fought off by 3 presumably drunk men with sticks and or a shotgun. But the Snallygaster, despite having not been seen by a reputable source for nearly 90 years, still lives on in the culture of Maryland. There is actually there is a character in both the Harry Potter universe and the new Fallout game, Fallout 76, which bear the name of the Snallygaster and are meant to be basically inspired by the real-life creature. And it's also became kind of a symbol for Maryland culture in general. Like, there's been multiple like beers and whiskeys that have been named after the Snallygaster, and there's also apparently, and I've never heard them so I can't speak to their quality, but there's also a punk band that was formed in Baltimore, Maryland, that was named the Snallygasters in honor of the creature. Yeah, so overall, the Snallygaster is a really cool story and kind of gives some insight into the history of Western and Central Maryland. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe for more. I plan to mix these cryptid videos in with my normal movie review content. And if you're a local like me from Maryland and you have any stories or any cryptids you'd like to see me cover, leave them down in the comments. And that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.